Every year we make resolutions and we never stick to them. Why is that? And how do we change it? On this episode, we discuss exactly that. Ways of dealing with distractions and sticking to your purpose. Every year, millions of people from around the world set out to be better versions of themselves, with goals pertaining to fitness, getting organized, career, financial betterment, breaking bad habits, etc. Why is the promise to ourselves so difficult to maintain? It would seem like walking in our purpose wouldn't be this hard. Today, we'll discuss the struggle and some possible solutions. This is Beyond the Hype. Welcome to Beyond the Hype. I'm your host, Mike D. And today we're with guest Tony Harris. How you doing today?
All right, how you doing, man?
Not bad, not bad.
That's good.
So today I had wanted to talk about resolutions and purpose. You know, it's every year, people make these resolutions and these promises to themselves, and by February it's just chalk. They're like, better luck next year. So just, getting your perspective on why do you think that is, and, have you dealt with that yourself?
Well, unfortunately, of course, I think we all have, something like that. But I think what we want to keep in mind is when we talk about resolutions, what we're really talking about is goals. So let's flip this just a little bit. What's the purpose? We make a resolution. I want to go to the gym. I'm gonna start working out. But why do I want to start working out? What is that goal? What's the end result, right? So is it I want to lose 10 pounds? Is it I want better cardio fitness? I need to be more active? Well, I need to think about what the end looks like and then work my way backwards into that, how do I achieve that end result? So if I want to lose 10 pounds, I need to walk more. So maybe I don't need to go to the gym. Maybe I don't necessarily need to work out. Maybe I need to just walk. Maybe I'm going to walk a mile every day. And then I'm, and try and build that up. But then I need to look at, well, what does that entail? What's involved in me working out more or walking or increasing my, exercise level? That means I'm going to have an hour or two every day, or every day that I want to work out. I need to carve out some time for myself. So how do I do that in my schedule? I need to figure all these things out.
Time management.
Right? Where am I going to work out? Am I going to, am I working solo? Am I going to have a workout partner? Am I going to join a gym? Am I going to just walk in the park? Oh, well, if I'm going to walk in the park, is it going to be first thing in the morning? Well, when do I have my most energy? When am I most energetic throughout my day? For me, for example, much better for me to work out in the morning when I first start my day, because by the time the end of the day comes for me, I can find a reason not to go to the gym. I mean, I'm too tired, I need to cook, today was too stressful. There's always a reason why I can't go to the gym, because I'm not a end of the day workout person. I have to really start my day, I have to start my day working out and then finish out the day. And so I need to figure, so some of this is us being honest with ourselves. How do I, what type of person am I? Am I a morning person? Am I the type of person I need 4 cups of coffee before I get going, in the day? All that type of stuff. I need to have these honest discussions with myself, starting with the end. What is my goal? What's my intention here?
And that seems to be, like, I know I've faced that challenge, like being honest with myself. I've really had to have some ugly talks with myself, even if I just got to stare in the mirror and talk it out. I was able to really get some progress once I had that uncomfortable conversation with myself, because it gives me some type of direction, like you were saying, purpose, which is really, is really a challenge to just admit what you first is I don't know why it's so hard to admit what you want to do. It's like you become an adult and you don't have to answer to anybody at a certain point. It's really just up to you. And I find, with myself and a lot of the other people that may come in and, want to start a project or, get involved in something new. It's like it's this anxiety everybody gets when, pursuing their own ideas. It's like it's this.
It's very interesting that you bring that up because that's the second part of what I wanted to talk about in terms of, so I know what my goal is, right? I've decided I want this, whether it's something new, something old, but what we don't do is the research that's involved with achieving that goal. Because I need to understand, how to achieve the goal. I need to understand what sacrifices I need to make, right? There's going to be some sacrifices that you have to make, right? Whether, and I'll just go back to, working out. Perhaps, I can't eat the French fries that I like. I can't eat the potato chips that I like. I'm going to have to drink more water. What does this mean, running versus walking? Right? Is the strain on my knees, the pain, that also
Don't feel right.
Also entails, I need to stretch. So I need to have a routine around stretching and making sure that I can maintain flexibility, right? So there's a lot of different things that we don't necessarily, consider when we first start out. So we hit the gym the first couple of days and then we're sore. Well, perhaps we weren't eating the right types of food. Maybe I wasn't getting enough potassium to help get all the lactic acid out of my muscles. I wasn't drinking enough water. So at that point, I'm too sore to get up and work out. Forget this, I'm gonna skip that. And once I skip that day, it becomes easier and easier, right? So again, I go back to, yes, I know what my goal is, but then I need to do some research. So whether it's a new project or whatever it is, a new business venture, what research am I doing to prepare myself to understand what sacrifices I need to make, what responsibilities I'm going to take on? There's a lot to that. Right.
Yeah, I have found, and I've taken advice from you on this also, where just writing stuff down, it's made it a whole lot easier to get things done. As they say, if you plan it, you don't have to panic. And, that goes back to like playing sports also. It's like, okay, I found guys who weren't prepared in practice or who didn't know the playbook. They'd be the ones that were not on the floor during crunch time. We could not depend on them because they would panic, and it just came from my cousin has this saying that he tells me, piss poor planning, lack of planning makes for piss poor performance. So he's really been on me about, hey, little cuz, you got it down. I know you got it. You're going to go ahead and do it. You got it because you already wrote it down. You've told yourself what you need to do. Anything else doesn't really matter.
Right.
And I know having mentors has really helped. Like there's you, there's Q, there's been Chill, there's been coaches throughout my life, Coach James. There's been a lot of guys and even peers where the accountability to stick to the plan, even without knowing what's on my plan or in my notes. One of the first things you tell me is, did you write it down? What's the plan? Beginning, middle, end. And I found that has helped me align my steps with my purpose a whole lot more.
Absolutely. And along with writing down that plan, there is the details that make up each stage of that plan that you have to not only consider but write down. So you have to get a very detailed plan, and I'll go back to, I'm going to lose 10 pounds. Well, what does that mean? That means I need to be up every morning at 6 o'clock because I have to be at, I'm just saying, just throwing this out.
6 a.m. like cussing at some people.
Right. But if I have to be at work by 8, right? And it takes me 30 minutes to shower and change, then that means and it takes me 30 minutes to get to work. So that means if I need to be at work by 8, I need to be out of the house by 7:30, at least, right? And then if it takes me 30 minutes to get dressed and showered and all of that stuff, then that means I need to be, 7. I need to be done working out by 7.
Right.
Right? Well, then if I'm going to work out for 30 minutes, that means I need to start by 6:30. Right? So then I need to be up, at least by 6 so I can get prepared, right? So it's just all of those things. But then let's go a step further. If I'm going to be up by 6, and I need 8 hours of sleep, I need to be in bed, by 10, right?
It's so easy to stay up them long
But again, so these are and so this is where all the planning comes in, right? So now I need to, perhaps I need to iron all of my clothes. I need to plan out my work week because I'm going to iron out all my clothes on Saturday and Sunday, so I don't have to think about that, at night, right? I need to plan out my meals, right? All of these details that I need to consider prior to being able to execute my plan. Yeah, my plan is to get up and start working out by 6:30, but there's a lot of preparation and a lot of detail that goes into getting to that. I'm up at 6, I'm working out by 6:30, I'm in the shower by 7, I'm dressed by 7:30, I'm out the door. There's a lot of detail that goes into that, and those are the things that we need to consider as well if we're going to meet our goal.
Yeah, because and that makes sense. It's like you're making this promise to yourself. You don't owe it to anybody else but yourself to go ahead and execute, for the things you say you really want if you truly mean it. It blows my mind. I've watched people just self-destruct over time, or, it doesn't even take time. They'll have everything they need to have and they'll be right there, and they just self-sabotage. And I know a lot of that comes from managing expectations. Some people, they want to start at the end game and they forget about, step 1. And then they just think the whole thing is just a waste. It doesn't work for them, or why can't I figure it out? And a lot of times they say it, it's like, well, I don't want to do it that way. I want to do it my way. And, I just find it makes it a little easier because, we talked about accountability partners and people to hold you accountable. But I find that, self-accountability becomes one of the biggest challenges, because it's real easy to point out what somebody else is or isn't doing. But, just to turn that same, vision on yourself, like, okay, how do I want to do this? I know I want to do this. I have my action plan. I know what I need to do. Why is it so hard for me to do it? And then I really just look at the alternatives. It's like, if I don't do this, I'm right back where I started and what I said I didn't want to be. Like, at one time, I was asking and praying for this. Now that I got it, I'd be a fool to not, see it through.
Right. I think we underestimate the effort that's required. As you talked about, I want to do things my way, right? Well, is your way the most efficient way? Is your way, yeah, you can probably, there are a lot of different routes to get to goals, right? You can take the easy way, and by easy, I mean most efficient, most effective way. And a lot of that is tried and true, and that's because I've done research, and that's because I've seen the example that other people provide on how to get to my goal. Now, that's not to say that as an individual there will be some things that you will need to, shuffle around, rearrange. Maybe you're not in the same stage that the person, who provided the example. I'm not saying that, but what I am saying is you have to understand and recognize that there's a lot of hard work that goes into accomplishing any goal, whatever it is. Just in going back to this whole workout thing, I'll stick with that just as an example. As you think about prepping meals, prepping, outfits for work, making sure that, that I find the right workout, something I can do in 30 minutes or whatever it is. And is that am I doing the right exercises for that? Because I only have 30 minutes to work out. So I need to make sure I'm doing the right, exercises that are going to maximize, the results, right? My effort, I need to maximize my efforts to get the results, right? So there's just a whole, not only thinking about all the stuff that gets me in bed by 10 and then being able to rest my mind so I can go to sleep so I'm not tossing and turning all night, so that when I wake up in the morning, I'm energized enough to work out. But then I had to do research on the workouts, right? Yeah. Not only the workouts, then the recovery and the nutrition that goes into it. So there are all these details that I think a lot of us just want to skip to the end. And we don't want to do all the research that's required, right? And getting prepared. So that means, again, if I'm getting up at 6 o'clock, what am I wearing to the gym? I need to be able to get to the gym, I need time for all of this, right? And we don't account for a lot of that. Some of us try to pack so much into our day and we forget about the travel time. We forget about the recovery time. We forget about, if I need to be asleep by 10, that means I probably need to start shutting down at 9 o'clock so I can get some peace of mind that allows me to relax, that allows me to fall asleep, that allows me to get up. But that means I had to do a lot of prep prior to 9 o'clock.
Yeah, and that's that part always intrigues me because it's, you're making a commitment to yourself, and you're going out and you're doing all these things. I've learned that I found it hard to pour from an empty vessel. And you talk about like with weight loss, that 10 pounds is self-care. Being able to bring it full circle and commit to yourself that way, to where it's like, okay, this is self-care. I have to do this. Taking that same ownership of it that you would if you were doing it for somebody else or for
your kids. Think
right.
about this, especially for mothers out there, single or married, whatever it is. They put a lot of energy into those kids, right? They rip and run the streets for those kids, and I understand all of that. But at a certain point, you have to step back and say, am I doing, if I'm sick or I'm not feeling well or I'm depressed or, I'm not healthy, what's the benefit for my kids here? So sometimes I need to figure out a different way, a different strategy. I need to ask for help sometimes. I know for a lot of us, we don't like to ask for help, right? Can somebody watch the kids for an hour while I go on this walk? Or can somebody watch the kids for an hour while I try to shut down and get ready, for bed or whatever it is, right? We always put ourselves second. But I'll go back, think about when you're on an airplane and they tell you if there's a loss in cabin pressure and a mask is going to drop down in front of you, and they tell you to put your mask on first. Then you help somebody else, right? So those are some things to keep in mind. And it may seem selfish, but you think about it, if I take care of myself, I'm in a better position to then take care of everything else that I need to take care of, because I have the energy, I have the health, I've done some research or whatever it is. I need to make sure that I'm prepared. I've taken steps to prepare myself and care for myself. So
that makes a lot of sense. So what are some solutions you would offer to get ahead of, these things?
So I think it's very important that we manage our expectations in terms of what success really looks like. So initially, and going back to working out, stick with the workout thing, right? Here, so for example, for me personally, every January, me and guys I play football with, we go down to Florida, we take a vacation, get out of the cold weather, go hang out, Florida, California, somewhere warm, whether it's Mexico, something, just go kick it for a couple of days, get out, hang out. But one of the guys, for me, again, I want to lose 15 pounds. So while we're on vacation, we hit the gym, every day we hit it, fairly hard, getting back into some workout routines that we did when we played ball. So, one of the guys, he lives here in town. So this past trip, I asked him to commit to, look, like 1 day a week, we meet at a gym in Cleveland, and we do this workout. We work out for at least 35, 45 minutes.
I don't sound too much.
But again, it's just knowing everybody's busy, everybody has things going on. What can we realistically commit to? So we had the conversation, during the week, it's hard for him, after work, he can start at, he can work out at 5 o'clock in the morning, but after work, it's almost impossible. Unfortunately, during the pandemic, a lot of gyms aren't opening until 7. So, all right, so what's the backup plan now here? How do we flip this? All right, so now on Saturdays and Sundays, much easier for both of us to clear our schedules and work out. So this past weekend, I started reffing at 9 o'clock, but the gym opens at 7. So I'm up at 6. I'm out the door by 6:30. I get there at 6:58. They open up the gym. We're in there and we're working out. I've got to be gone by 8:30. So we had an hour or so to work out. So again, what can we realistically do? Right? Let's look at our schedules. Let's be honest with ourselves. Not, well, we're gonna work out 3 times a week and then you only get one in and you're disappointed because it seems like you failed. Right? No, I need to be realistic. What can I do? All right, we're not gonna work out for 2 hours. We'll work out for 30 minutes, 45 minutes. Let's get this routine. Let's get that, and then maybe we can find some additional time. And then, of course, you can always work out on your own. But again, for me, meeting someone at a gym to work out, they're depending on me just as much as I'm depending on them. We're holding each other accountable, so you have that support system. But again, I just need to, let's slow walk this. Everybody thinks I'm gonna jump in this, I'm gonna lose 15 pounds in 2 weeks. Unhealthy, unrealistic, right? You're maybe 1 pound a week.
You might have to chop something off.
Right, right, but maybe I can lose 1 pound a week. So even if I was trying to lose 15 pounds, we're talking about 15 weeks of working out, and that's working out on a regular basis. So now, if I'm only gonna work out, 2 days a week, well, that 15 weeks may just have become 30 weeks, right? But again, I have to understand, I have to do the research, I have to understand what's healthy, what's achievable, and then I have to be comfortable with incremental success versus, you're not just going to, you see all this, I lost 40 pounds in 2 weeks, I took this shake. That's really, that's unrealistic, right? So we have to understand that, even if it's a new career, learning a new skill, creating a new habit, All the research says it takes 21 days to create a new habit, and that's 21 days of consistency.
That's a big word right there.
Right? Consistency, 21 days to create a habit or break a habit. Right? It might take even longer to break a habit, but to establish a habit is at least 21 days of consistent behavior. So you have to create an environment that allows you to be consistent with whatever it is you're doing, whatever skill you're trying to, or behavior, or whatever it is. I need to create an environment that requires me to do all of the research and do all of the prep so that I can put myself in a place to be successful. But that success is going to look, I guess, fractional. They're going to be small. I have to look for the small things, the small successes, which will then, as you start to, it's just like building a brick wall.
Right.
I start with one brick. I lay that brick, and then I start, but I had to have a plan. I had to, I can't just build a wall.
Right.
I had to do a plan and come,
You gotta have
look at the arithmetic, the geometry,
Some people want 1 + 1 to equal 1,000,000.
Right. But then I had to lay those bricks consistently, and over time I will have a wall. But each brick that I lay is that little piece of consistency that allows me to then develop a behavior, develop a skill, or meet a goal. Right? So I think those are the things we have to be honest with ourselves about what we can do, the time we have, and how to maximize that, and then be comfortable with small bits of success.
That makes a lot of sense.
And we get too hard on ourselves for not, whatever it is. There's nobody who just comes out. You wake up in the morning and you're able to just do something new.
Yeah, you a special individual if you could just.
Everybody, everybody has the practice, and people talk about Michael Jordan being the greatest of all times, right? And what about that big shot he hit? But he missed a lot of shots.
He did in fact.
Doesn't take away from him being great, but he missed a lot of shots. He was unsuccessful a lot. I mean, you look at baseball, guys who bat 300, which is 30%, which means I failed 7 out of 10 times.
Those are Hall of Fame numbers.
Right. 300 is a Hall of Fame, right?
MVP.
Right, but I failed more than I ever succeeded.
That's like Steph Curry, as legendary as his shooting has become, he's still about 50% or less.
I mean, 40% maybe from three, right? I mean, and this is what I tell kids when I'm refereeing, because everybody wants to be a shot blocker. I'm like, the greatest dude in the NBA may shoot 50%, and I'm talking about somebody like Shaq or Olajuwon or even the big man Joel Embiid right now, because they're down low and they're close to the basket and they still only hit 50% of those shots.
What's that? DeAndre Jordan is the all-time field goal leader, and all he does is catch lobs.
Right. And so maybe he's hitting 55% of the shots but again, there's a lot of failure that is a part of those people being superstars and the greatest ever.
Right.
So don't be so hard on yourself. When you have setbacks, then I need to readjust my plan. I think it's Bruce Lee who says, if you set a goal and you don't, meet your goal, maybe you don't, maybe you have to adjust the goal, right? And all right, so I want to work out 3 times a week, but I'm only getting there once. Okay, well, let me make the most of this one time I'm getting there. Right. So you have to be flexible.
You can split the difference and maybe go twice a week.
Perhaps, right? Somehow you have to adjust until you can develop the behavior that allows you to be consistent.